think it's a really bad idea. I think it's going to affect all the American people.
I think that we should have tariffs. I think it should be fair and balanced across the world with all our partners.
Coloradans giving their opinions on the new tariffs announced by President Trump today. Now, part of our Your Voice series, we make a commitment to listen to as many Coloradans as possible. Well, the new tariffs are 10% on nearly all imported goods, along with steeper reciprocal tariffs against the European Union and countries including China. Well, the president says this will help domestic manufacturing ultimately. ABC's Christiane Cordero explains why others have a different take.
Today, in front of allies and auto workers, President Trump officially unveiled his long-awaited plan on tariffs.
Chronic trade deficits are no longer merely an economic problem. They're a national emergency that threatens our security and our very way of life.
The president imposing a 10% tariff on nearly all imports. Roughly 60 countries, including some of America's closest trading partners, will face even higher tariffs. A 34% tariff on all imports from China, a 25% tariff on products from South Korea, and a 20% tariff on goods from the European Union.
You know, you think of the European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half.
Some of the costs expected to be absorbed by the buyer, meaning prices on clothing, cars, produce, and pharmaceuticals, among other things, are expected to go up.
The trade wars that we saw leading up to World War II are part of what got us into World War II. And so that's why we've been trading more with each other and trying to bring down trade barriers over time to avoid some of the kind of pain that we experienced during the Great Depression.
Trading partners, including China and the EU, have vowed to respond. Imports on all autos and auto parts already face a steep 25% tariff, as Trump previously announced. ABC's Rachel Scott spoke with Patrick Comroe, who worries his car repair business in Wisconsin will suffer when he raises prices.
Their bill ultimately is going to be higher, and it's not getting us any more money. It's just taking from the customer and, passing it through.
Trump is adamant the tariffs will incentivize American manufacturing, placing his bet they'll pay off down the road. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And this afternoon, I went to the DU campus to talk to Dr. Fritz Mayer. He's the dean of the Korbel School of International Studies. And Dr. Mayer helped craft the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, in the early 90s. So I asked him if these new tariffs will actually do what President Trump claims.
It's 70 years blown up in a few weeks. So this is a big deal. I mean, it's a really big deal. It's a complete, abrupt end, really, of the long effort led by the United States to create a more open trading system. These are very old ideas, and they're kind of intuitive. It seems to make sense that you can impose a tax on things from somewhere else and we don't have to pay it. That's not true, but it's intuitive. And it's appealing to say we've lost all these jobs and there's a simple way to get them back, which is to impose tariffs on imported goods, and that will force everyone to reinvest in America. But it's not that simple.
And Dr. Mayer there says the end result here is anything but guaranteed. But he says the short-term effect is clear.
I don't think there's a scenario in which this won't raise prices for consumers and for businesses.
Now, the question, he says, is how long the short term will last. City of Denver wants to make a 3-mile stretch of West 38th Avenue safer, and now, after more than a year of public input, the city is sharing the plan to try to make that happen. Denver 7's Claire Lavazorio explains why neighbors, though, are a little divided over this proposed solution.
Whether you live off of West 38th Avenue in Denver like Drew Sarmier,
and right now it's just concrete and cars,
or work along the corridor like Jose Guerrero.
I think my biggest concern is the speed, right?
No matter who you ask, they'll tell you the stretch of road serving these neighborhoods has its problems. We witnessed some of them for ourselves, from kids darting out into traffic to aging sidewalks. They're issues the city is trying to address, zeroing into a 3-mile stretch of West 38th from North Sheridan to Park Avenue West. It's one of Denver's most dangerous streets, with 668 crashes in that area over the past 5 years.
Can you fit bus lanes? Can you fit bike lanes? Can you widen sidewalks? Can you incorporate green infrastructure? And realistically, it is hard to fit all those things in a small amount of space.
After a year and a half of testing, neighbors came together Wednesday night to check out what the city is calling its preferred plan. Long term, it involves cutting the lanes on West 38th from 5 to 3 and repurposing the extra space to widen sidewalks. The extra space is supposed to make room for bus bypass lanes at busy intersections. The plan also involves greening the corridor for drainage and shade. Sarmir thinks the city is on the right track.
I absolutely think sidewalk improvement. There's no trees along the entire route. It's a kind of an urban wasteland.
But others think planners are missing the mark.
When you ask me what the solution is, it's not a tree.
Saying these ideas make West 38th more of a drive-through than a destination.
It's how do you bring more people to this community to make it a community? How do you drive more people here to enjoy this part of the city?
Design for the project could take up to 2 years and cost around $50 million. In Denver, Claire Lavizorio, Denver 7.
Well, the next time you fly out of DIA, things may not be where you're used to them being. A week from today, the airport will begin relocating the check-in counters for nearly every airline. Frontier, Southwest, and United are the only ones that will stay put, but the counters for the other 24 will temporarily move to level 5. The moving process is going to happen